Hello and welcome to my tutorial of that Photoshop box that you've just seen in the intro. You just want to click custom. I've renamed it Photoshop box tutorial. My background I have D6, D6, D6. Click OK. Create. And we want two rectangles. One of 1000 by 1300. I'll just type it in up here because it's quicker than trying to get it right on my mouse. 1300, click OK, and another rectangle of 350 by 1300. Again, just click up here and write it in because not 330, 350. Excuse me, 350 by 1300. Click enter and convert these into smart layers. So right click, convert to smart object, right click again on layer 2 and convert to smart object. Rename that one front and rename this one side. Hit enter. Well, we grab our move tool or press V on your keyboard, bring that over here and just center them up. So you want to add 0, 0 and 0, 0 that way as well. Now you want to grab the front, Control T, right click, perspective, and drag that up to about 7.1ish. Come on mouse, I've got a bit of a sticky mouse today for some reason. Oh come on, there we go. 7.3 will do. It should be about 7.1. Right click again, scale, and drag that in to, oh sorry, you need to hold shift, otherwise it'll do that. Hold shift and drag that into about 791, 792 will do. Then grab side, and we want a Control T on that. Right click, perspective, drag that up to 16.5. There we go. Right click again, scale, hold shift, drag it into about 229. Right, that'll do. But it should be about 268ish. And now we want to create a little bit box shadow behind, so we want to grab our fill as black, grab our rectangle tool again, draw a rectangle down here, Control T to move it and rotate it, then right click and we want skew, so drag this, sorry not that corner, drag this corner up, drag that corner down, drag this corner down, drag that corner up, move it over, and pull that one out, drag that one down a bit, that one up. So this line is pretty much on this line here, and then yes, turn that into a live normal shape, drag it down to there. I want to Control T, drag that out a bit more of a bit of shadow, drag that one in, so we've got this bit popping out the back. Come up to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, rasterize the layer and have it down to 19.4. As you can see, I've done this before. And then we want to lower the opacity. Once it's loaded, lower the opacity down to about 23%, 24%, that'll do. See, we've got a bit of a shadow going on. Now what we want to do is grab our brush tool, have it set to about 3 and hardness down to 0. Zoom in on the box right down to that corner. Oh, I need to move this over side. Sorry, that shouldn't be like that. You need to have these right together. So grab our brush tool again, create a new layer, left click, hold shift, and then left click again. That draws a straight line. Want to move along. We want to create another new layer. Left click, hold shift, so we get the straight line again, and then left click. There we go. In fact, that's not very straight. And hold shift and sorry, I just need to come back because that wasn't very straight. It's mouse. Left click, hold shift, come along, and left click again. Yeah, it's not very straight again, but you need to get it quite straight. If it's distorting like this, then you know it's not straight. It's like going underneath the box sort of thing. What we'll do is zoom out, just so we're getting a bit of a shadow. Come to layer 1, go up to filter, blur, motion blur this time, and we want to set this up to 16. Down 16, distance 6, OK. And again on layer 2 we want to filter, blur, motion blur again, and we want this back to -20. I'm going to type it in because my mouse, I'm going to throw it through the window. Press OK. Then we want to highlight these two layers, so Control and highlight these two layers, right click and merge layers. Then we want to bring the opacity down touch, so we've got a bit of a nice shadow going on. About 57 will do. We want to create another line down this side, so grab our tool. We'll set it to, just keep it at 3 actually. Set the hardness up to 100. Fill at black. Create another new layer. And we want to zoom in, so Z on the keyboard, or grab this tool down here. Hold left click again, shift, let go of left click, and down to this corner, and there's another line. And why it hasn't went all the way, it doesn't really went all the way at the bottom. Maybe it's because this is over, so I'll just quickly try and do it again. Left click, shift, come down to the bottom, and there, that's a bit better. Lower the opacity, so we've got a bit of an edge going on in our box. And now we want to come to front, right click, edit contents, or just click here, and we want our brush tool again. Bring this right up to 1700 pixels. Yes. And hardness down to 0. We want a new layer, So we get this big circle tool up, come to around about here. Our hardness, our opacity, sorry, is at 100, yes. And fills are black, yes. And just click, left click. So we get this shadow here, and then we want to create another one down here. Hit Control S to save it. Come back to our front. We've got the shadow here, but now we need to control one down here. So right click again, edit contents, or click up there and new layer. Bring this right into the middle and click left click again to create that shadow. Probably lower the opacity. Yeah, and lower the opacity on the front of this one. Yep. Control S. Back on our side, Control S. See how we've got flat images now, and when we go back into our main comp, we've got the shadow going on. Nice little shadow. So now what we want to do is decorate the front with our logos and things. So I've just obviously using this Photoshop because I'm using Photoshop. I want to grab my move tool. I don't want that other tool anymore. Control A to select all, so you get these marching ants. Control C to copy it. Come into our front rectangle and Control V to paste it, and just drag it up. I'll do there. I want some texture. Control A, it was just done. Control C to copy it. Come to our front rectangle. Control V to paste it. Control T so I can scale it up. Rotate it around to 90 degrees ish, and it doesn't matter if you go over these lines because it won't show up on the other side. I'll just scale that up a little bit more, about there, and drag it down below our main logo. Obviously you're going to have different textures and things like that, but you can either make these yourself, it's pretty easy to do, or just drag them off the likes of Google. Just download the PNG transparent files, but make sure the copyright is either free from it, or if it isn't, sometimes people like to just mention them in. There's loads of places you can grab textures from, like Pexels, and there's loads and loads. Just Google them, you'll get free textures from all over the place. So anyway, I want to Control V, so I want it down here as well. Control T, rotate it and scale it up. Yeah, that looks about right. I want some text. Just delete that off. Write my name, Kev Spence. Hit Control, because on text you can just free transform just by hitting Control. Little tip for you. And scale that up, drag it over. That'll do around there. Hit Control S. Now I want to do my rectangle, so I want some texture here. So Control A, Control C, Control V to paste it in. As I say, it created a new layer. I can rename all these later, but I'll just leave it for now. Control T, right click, I want to flip it horizontal. Yep. Rotate that round that bit, scroll it up, scale it up, and now I want to click enter. I'll have a barcode in there as well. Control A, Control C, Control V, Control T, and scale that down and just drop that in about there. I want not that one again, I want this one. Control A, Control C, come back to my rectangle, what's that doing up there? Why is that moved up there? Grab my move tool again. I don't know why that done that. Drag that down. Scale it up a bit more. Yeah, that'll do. Control V to put my other image in. Control V. As you can see, that's took up my whole thing, so I need to scale that right down, holding shift so it doesn't distort because it's that big. Bring that over. Want it a bit smaller than that. And that will do. Control S, just make sure I've done the other one. Control S to save them, and there we have it. Maybe I could have lined this up a bit better, but that's it. There's another way of doing this. I'll quickly show you now. So if I imagine if we didn't have decorate all this box, so I'll come back in here, just Control Z to get all this off. Control Z to get all this off, and Control S, Control S. Now we should have a plain box again. At this point, before you decorate everything, so you don't have to build this out all over again like every time. What you can do is go to Save As and save it as a PSD file, and then it's always that raw file, so you can always edit it from this point, so you won't have to recreate it. And then obviously once you've created all your design and everything on the front and side and the floor and things like that, reflections, which is easy to do, I'll quickly show you how to do that in a bit. You'd want to save it as either a JPEG and then a PNG, but obviously make sure that you do save it as a PSD file once you've done all this shadowing and so on. And so I'll show you quickly how to do wrap an image round this box, so you don't have to edit the front and the side separately. If you wanted to add something round, I'll just do the texture part. So you'd want to create a new layer, which I've already got anyway. Hide that one, and come up to filter, vanishing point. Another window is going to pop up now. So don't worry, think you know it's good. I want to zoom in. I've zoomed a bit too far in, so alt click, it'll zoom us back out. Grab my grid tool up here and click the point. You don't have to hold shift or anything like that, just click on each point, and on this point here I'll just drag it along, and it's red because I haven't got these points in enough. I need to go blue. Obviously I would take a bit more time if I was doing this like as much as closely as I could, so I want control, come up to this middle node, control alt and drag this along till you get to the end of there. Then you want to drag these down. It's going to go red because I haven't done the bottom one yet, and these down. Obviously you're going to take a bit more time getting this right at each point, and click OK. I want to grab my texture, so Control A, Control C, come back to my main box, come back up to filter, vanishing point, and my griddle should still be on, hopefully, yes. Control V to paste it in, Control T, I want to scale it up a little bit, and then drag it over the box, and as you can see, as if by magic, it's wrapping around the box quite nice. Leave it as that and click OK. My opacity is down, I can see my opacity is down, so I'd either leave it the opacity, which is not too bad, or if I wanted it right up, just bring it back up. I would probably want to leave it a little bit opacity on it because you can't really define this edge. Looks a bit better when you can define that edge. And anyway, that's how you do that. hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it does help you out. I know when you're first starting out building out things in product boxes and you're doing launches and that, you've got to pull out money, and so this might help you out. I don't want to take anything away from anybody. And anyway, thanks, and please do like and subscribe to my channel.